Hey everybody, it's Engineer It, and I hope you all been having a fantastic weekend. Last time we left off, we were talking a little bit about the frame structure for both the head and the body of R2. So today, I thought we'd talk a little bit more about the first bit of animation to actually make this robot come to life. Let's talk a little bit about the head turn assembly. Specifically, talk about how he plans to move his head from left to right, and all the mechanisms that go into performing that. So let's just cut right to the chase and let's just jump right into the CAD model and just talk a little bit about how the head turn assembly is going to be manufactured and developed for R2. Alrighty then, now we're back to the CAD model and you're probably noticing we get some new pieces here. So this whole colored area here is going to be the head turn assembly. So let me go ahead and break this down into its pieces and explain what's going on to sort of make sense of all this. So the way the animation for this will work is you'll have this yellow piece here which will be mounted to the head of R2 by this face and this face with two-part epoxy. Then from there, these M8 screws will then mount this yellow piece to this green piece here. The green piece here will effectively allow the head to rotate along the slip ring right here. The slip ring is there primarily to allow as a frictionless surface so that the head can freely rotate in a circular and predictable motion. At the bottom here, we have this red piece which will be fixated with two-part epoxy to the body by these four faces on either side of the unit. So it'll be these guys right here. Also attached to the red piece is this Pololu motor right here. For this R2 project, I'll be using strictly Pololu motors as all of my motors since they come with built-in encoders, which is very important for sensing direction and position. The way the mounting for this works is this motor is effectively attached to this red part through these screws right here, and then this shaft up here will connect to this green piece. The motor will stay fixed relative to the body, but the shaft will be able to rotate the head about its center. And that's more or less how the head turn assembly for R2 works. So let's go ahead and slap these suckers into the 3D printer and let's just see what happens.
We have spotted Imperial walkers.
Imperial walkers on the bridge.
So let's take a look how these prints turned out. So this first piece I got right here is the body mounted portion of the X-frame assembly for the head turn. So if you look closely on this side right here, you'll see this large hole. That's going to basically be the groove that the motor sits in, kind of coming in from this direction right here. This small hole right here on the other side, if we zoom in right there, that's going to be where the D shaft from the motor sticks out. Now this piece on top is going to be this guy right here. So this is the middle portion of the X-frame assembly. So if we look a little close right there, you'll see this small little hole right there. This hole is going to be where the D shaft from the motor that sticks out through this guy interferes with. So basically these will mount on top of each other like this. And there will be a small set screw that's going to sit right in there. And that set screw is going to be what basically mounts the motor shaft to this top piece and allows it to freely rotate on top of this X-frame. So what will happen is the motor will be under this. This will be mounted on top with a little bit of a gap, and it'll rotate with the motor like this. If you think about it, what's basically happening is almost the entire weight of the head turn assembly is going to be on the motor, which is unacceptable because this motor isn't that big and the shaft is only yay big, really tiny. So in order to offset the weight from the head, we got these guys. And basically what this is this is the slip ring assembly for the head. So this piece right here is going to mount to the slip ring just like this, and it's going to be allowed to slide on the slip ring just like this. This will effectively enable the head turn to slide left and right on R2. What will happen is these slip rings right here are going to basically be fixed to the body, so the entire weight of the head will rest on this ring and not on the motor itself. So that's basically the head turn assembly. In a later episode, I'll go ahead and actually go into the nitty-gritty details of the assembly process. However, right now I'm still working on doing a lot of the body work. Alright, well let's just go ahead and cut to the workshop and see what progress has happened over on the body finishing front. Hey guys, so I'm here in the workshop with my good friend Robert here, who's going to help me do some body work today on R2. So Robert, what are we doing with R2 today?
Today we're going to sand down all of the wood filler we put on R2 last weekend to get rid of any of the imperfections or lines or ridges in the print, and then prep him for finish.
We decided to use a typical wood filler found at the local hardware store as our surface finish. The wood filler essentially helps us create a smooth, realistic layer over the step 3D printed surface. Applying this technique a few times will allow us to eventually reach a screen accurate surface for painting.
Well, all right. Well, thank you so much for that, Robert. I think without further ado, let's just get right into it.
Told me get myself together. Now I got myself together. Now I made it through the weather. Better days are gonna get better. I'm so happy the carbonite is gone. I'm moving on. I'm so happy that it's over now. The pain is gone. I'm putting on my shades to cover up my eyes. I'm jumping in my ride. I'm heading out tonight. I'm solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. Solo. Picking up my plaster, putting it on my side. I'm jumping in my Falcon, Wookiee at my side. I'm solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. Solo. I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo. Solo.
Holy hell, that was a lot of sanding. Thank God that's over with. So we just finished sanding off all of the wood filler that we applied last week to this guy. And it may not look much from right there, but what you can probably notice is you can see kind of where all of the wood filler is filling all the cracks left over from the 3D print. So if you run your finger across, you can definitely tell that there's a really smooth and polished surface. So once we go to paint it, it'll look really clean and crisp, almost realistic to the movie. So what do we have next, Robert?
So the only thing we have to do now is fill in the tiny little gaps where the filler didn't quite get all the way in there. Touch that up, give it one more sanding, and then she's good to paint.
Well, all right. Well, that's all I have today for you guys. Was there something that you disliked? Was there something you liked? Go ahead and share in the comments section below. Are you intrigued with my progress? Well, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you found this interesting. I forgot to mention, I use both Instagram and Twitter quite frequently. So if you're interested in following me a little bit closer, go ahead and check out the links right here where you'll be able to see my social media platforms and you can follow my progress a little bit closer. Yeah, sorry that it took so long to get this episode out to you guys. Hopefully I'll have the next episode out within the next couple of weeks. Thanks so much for checking out my video and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, stay frosty, y'all.